Vagishadya Sumanasaha Satvarthanamupokrame Yam Natva Kritakritya Syuhutam Namami Gajananam Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yoginam Vishwanathakyam Asmattata Swarupinam Atmalabhat Param Labham Vaktaram Nakadachana Gita-artha-grantha-kartaram Sri-Gurum Pranamamyaham Yontah pravishya-me vacham Dhritim buddhim prachodayat Om Namah Sababhyas Sabapatibhyascha Vo Namah. Friends, we are going to be looking at shloka number 10 of Dhruva Stuti. Tvam nitya mukta parishuddha vibuddha atma Kutastha ati purusho bhagavan stradisha Yadbudhyavastitim akhanditaya swadrishtyam Drashtastita vadhimako vyatirikta asya. This shloka is so important, not only within Dhruva Stuti, but important for our entire scriptural knowledge. In fact, my dear readers, viewers, I would recommend you to get by heart this shloka because it stands for Gayatri. Those of us who did not have a proper Upadesha of Gayatri, see, whatever caste they belong to, whatever gender they belong to, whatever race they belong to, they can get by heart this shloka and take this as the Upadesha of this shloka by listening to this. Tvam nitya mukta parishuddha vibuddha atma kutastha adi purusho bhagavanstyaji yadbudhyavastitim akhanditaya swadrishtyam drashtastita vadhimako vyatirikta asya. I am going to go word by word in this shloka and explain it. We will spend all the time in this session for this shloka. So Dhruva is now coming to this Swarupa Lakshana of the Lord. Tatastha Lakshana means an indicator definition. You can only indicate God created this, therefore there must be God. There is a kind of an inference by which we realize there is God. But who is God? What is God? How is God? That kind of thing. This question can be answered only by Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is the Upanishad definition. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. These are not three attributes of the Lord. You see, Advaita maintains, Shankaracharya maintains, and all our Upanishad commentators who follow the Advaitic philosophy, they maintain that Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam are only three facets of the Lord, but they exhaust. Satyam, Sati, Chite, Anandam, Satchidanandam. So, that is the Swarupa Lakshana. That is, Satyam itself represents the Lord. Jnanam itself represents the Lord. Anantam or Anandam. Anantam and Anandam, or you can exchange one for the other. Anantam or Anandam, they also represent the Lord. Here, in this shloka, Dhruva repeats this 3 times. Satyam Jnanam Anantam, he repeats it 3 times. You will see that now. So let me first get you the meaning of the shloka. Tvam, you, Nitya Muktaha, ever liberated. You are ever liberated. Parishuddha, you are pure, perfectly pure. Perfectly pure. No vikara. You can never change or anything. There is nothing that can affect you. Parishuddha. Vibuddha. You are knowledgeable of everything. You are knowledge itself. Right? There is nothing which is not known to you. Tvam nitya mukta parishuddha vibuddha atma. So you can see already 3 things have come. Nitya mukta, parishuddha, vibuddha. Nitya mukta, ever liberated, existence, sati, satya, you are always there, existent every time, all the time. Parishuddha, pure, purity gives the total bliss. Once you have perfection, there is nothing that you miss, that is ananda, that is nothing but bliss. So Parishuddha stands for bliss, Vibhuddha stands for Chiti, Sati Chiti Anandam. Sati is Nityamukta, Chiti is Vibhuddha, Ananda is Parishuddha. So Nityamukta Parishuddha Vibhuddha Atma. I will tell you later how the Gayatri comes here, but first let us get the meaning. Kutastha Adi Purusho Bhagavan Sthyadishaham. Kutastha. I will come to Kutastha a little later because there is a difficult word. Adi Purushaha. Adi Purushaha, most ancient person. Munnai Paratirkum Munnai Param. Adi Purushaha. So he is the most ancient, therefore existent ever. So the Sati aspect of the Lord, Satya as Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Satya aspect, Sati, Satya, both are the same. Satya aspect of the Lord comes here. Adi Purushaha, Bhagavan's Triyadishaha. Bhagavan is Bhagavan. We have already explained that 6 qualities of Bhagavan. He always have it. Aishwarya, Bala, Tejas, Virya, like that. So Bhagavan, Triyadishaha. Triyadishaha. You are the Lord of the 3. You are the Lord of the 3. What 3? 3 worlds. Upar, Niche, and this. 3 lokas, 3 worlds. Triyadishaha. 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Right? 3 states of consciousness. Waking, dreaming, sleeping. He is beyond that. Triyadishaha. He is the Lord of the 3 states. He is the one which gives you the consciousness in the 3 states. Right? He is the Lord of the 3 lokas. Right? The Swargaloka, the Bhuloka, and the Adholoka. Triyadishaha. So he, like that you can think of anything about 3, he will be there. Kutastha. So he can be obtained by any one of the 3 yogas. Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. So Triyadishaha, right? And so Kutastha Adi Purusho Bhagavan Sthyadishaha. Now Kutastha. Kutastha means Kuta. One meaning is the anvil of the blacksmith. He strikes the iron, something he keeps on the anvil and strikes with his iron. When it is hot iron, he strikes, nothing happens to the anvil, but whatever he wants to do for that thing on which he strikes, that is that kuta. So the kutastha means he is unchanging, he is untransformed, untransformable by any action that happens in his presence, on his presence, for him. He is inside when we are doing 100 other things, but he is not affected by any of those things. He is the Kutastha. He is there, firm, fixed, stable, ever. Kutastha. Kuta also means fraud. What is this fraud? Kuta means fraud, dirt, wrong things, everything. Actually, the Lord stays inside our body, but in the body everything is unreal, everything is non-self. See, whatever is non-self is not the right thing, is all kuta, is all wrong things. So he stands firm among all the wrong, non-real things in the body. So that is why he is Kutastha. Kutastha Adi Purusho Bhagavan Sthyadishaham. Then Yad Buddhyavasthitim Akhanditaya Swadrishtya Drashtasthita Vadhimako Vyatirikta Ase. Vyatirikta Ase. You stand aloof. You stand aloof. Hey Bhagavan, you are not affected by anything that happens to the body, the jiva. The jiva who associates himself with the body, mind, intellect, so you are away from that. Nothing that the body, mind affect. In fact, the jiva, there is a Kshara Purusha, there is an Akshara Purusha. What is the Kshara Purusha? Kshara Purusha, Dvabhimau Purusho Loke Ksharascha Kshara Evacha Gita. 15th chapter. So there are two Purushas, Kshara Purusha, Akshara Purusha. Kshara is perishable, Akshara is imperishable. The perishable Purusha is the body, mind, intellect, everything. Akshara Purusha is the imperishable one standing as a witness inside. He is the Kutastha. Kutastha is the Akshara Purusha. Kutastha means he is there unaffected, unchanged by anything that happens to the outer self. The outer, when I say outer personality, I am including all the Panchakosha, all everything. Everything. The inner self is the Lord Himself. So, Vyatilikta say, he stands aloof. He stands aloof. But he is also, another word has been used, Adhimakaha. He is the Lord of all yajnas, all maka means yajna, sacrifices, all Adhimakaha. So Adhimakaha stands for the Ananda aspect, right? Vyatilikta say, he stands aloof. He is existent as a separate entity that stands for the existence aspect, Sati aspect, Ananda aspect. For the Chiti aspect, the description is rather long. Drashta. He is the Drashta. He is the seer. Seer of what? How does he see it? See, yad buddhyavastiti makhanditaya swadrishtya, third line. The whole third line goes with the fourth line word drashta. Yad buddhi avastitim akhanditaya swadrishtya drashta. Swadrishtya drashta. By his drishti, by his vision, by his inner vision, by his divine vision, he sees. He is watching everything that we do. Akhanditaya, incessantly, continuously, without interruption. Akhanditaya. Right? Yad buddhyavastitim akhanditaya. Yad buddhyavastitim. That buddhi, intellect, in what status it is there, that he is watching. He is aware. He is the seer, drashta. So, he is the drashta, the seer, witness. Therefore, he is the chiti. Only because of him he see. Nana chitragato darastita mahadipa prabhava swaram jnanam yasya chakshurati karanam dvara bhajispandate Dakshinamurti Ashtakam. We see something, we recognize that it is so. But who is it that recognizes? You may say that your mind, your buddhi, no, that behind the mind, behind the buddhi, that is this drashta. Without him you cannot recognize it. The dead body will not recognize it. Therefore, the chiti which is inside, it is the consciousness which goes and recognizes that. It recognizes through your eyes or through your voice or whatever, but it is the consciousness that is the recognizer, cognizer, drashta. So, yad buddhyavastiti makanditaya swadrishtya. So, there are 3 times the Satchidananda has been mentioned here. What are the 3 times? Tonitya mukta parishuddha vibuddha atma, 1 time. Kutastha adi purusho bhagavan sridisha, another time. In that, Kutastha stands for the chit, because Kutastha is the one who recognizes. Adi Purusha stands for the present existence. Sridishaka stands for the Ananda aspect. Here in the third line, in the third and fourth line, Yad buddhi avastiti makanditaya swadrishtya drashta. He sees by his inner vision the status of your intellect, the way it goes incessantly, continuously. So that is the chit aspect. Adhimakaha, he is the Lord of all the sacrifices, of all the actions that you are doing. That is the Ananda aspect. Vyatilikta say, you are standing aloof, that is the Sati aspect. So, the Sati Chitte Ananda has been mentioned 3 times. Why do I say that Gayatri is here? What is there in the Gayatri? In the Gayatri, in the first line, Savituhu Varenyam. Savituhu Varenyam. It is a glorification. It is a glorification. You see, the most notable, most respectable Savituhu, that Devata, that Savita Devata. Savita has inbuilt, that word has inbuilt into it the concept of birth. So everything exists from that. So it is the existence aspect. Savituhu Varenyam Bhargaha. The Jyotis, the light, that is the most notable thing from the Savita. Savita means the grand reality, right? Which gives, from which everything emanates. So Tat Savituhu Varenyam Bhargaha. Devasya Dhimahi, that Bhargaha, that Savituhu Devasya Bhargaha, that Jyotis, let us meditate on. That is what we are saying. This meditation itself is bliss. As I told you earlier, in the bhakti part of it, meditation itself is bliss. So that is the Ananda aspect. So in the Gayatri, that is the Sati aspect in the first line, Tat Savituhu Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, the Ananda aspect is there. Dhiyo yo naf prayachodaya. He prompts my intellect. So may he prompt my intellect, right, in the right way. Dhiyaha yo naf, he who prompts my intellect. So he who is the source of my intellect functioning. So he is the Chit. So the Chit aspect is there in the Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat, right? So there are these three aspects. These three aspects are contained here, once in the first line, once in the second line, once in the third and fourth lines. Therefore Gayatri is mentioned here 3 times. That is why this, and it is not my will and pleasure by which I am saying it is Gayatri. There is a beautiful reason for it. These 12 shlokas of Dhruva have been compared to the 12 Adityas. What are the 12 Adityas? Mitra, Ravi, Surya, Bhanu, Khaga, Pusha, Hiranyagarbha, Marichi, Aditya, Savit, Arka, Bhaskara. Savita is the 10th. Savita is the 10th. So this 10th is the Savita. The 10th. All the shlokas of the all the shlokas of Dhruva Stuti they correspond to the 12 Adityas. So this corresponds to Savita. Savita is the Devata of Gayatri. And therefore this is Gayatri. Therefore I was able to say that if you repeat this, it is equivalent to repeating the Gayatri. Look at the pregnant content of things here. You see, when I say drashta stita vadhimako vyatirikta ase, this drashta, that is, he sees our intellect, status of the intellect, I said. You see, so we are doing this daily. It's a daily phenomenon. What is the daily phenomenon? We go to sleep daily. And when we sleep, we are coming back and saying, I slept happily. I slept happily. It's a daily phenomenon. But this daily slept happily, and try to analyze it. I stands for the existence aspect, because the one who slept is now speaking. He exists continuously. So the continuity of existence, I slept, you see. So you are aware of that you slept. You are aware of your sleeping. So that is the Chit aspect. Happily is the Ananda aspect. So there is a Sati Chita Ananda aspect. But first of all, who is saying this, I slept happily? Who is saying this? You, your mind, your intellect, all these things were sleeping. So how are you saying I slept happily? Where did the happiness come from? How are you aware that you slept? How did you know that you slept? It is only by inference. You did not know anything and you woke up and you think that you slept. You see? So I slept happily is a statement for which the mind has no right to say. The mind was sleeping when the whole thing was sleeping. Therefore, why do I say? So what happened is, there is an Akshara Purusha inside who has the Sati Chiti Ananda aspect. He is nothing. It is no. See, my words are wrong. I said the Akshara Purusha has the Satyachita Ananda aspect. This has is wrong. Satyachita Ananda, he is. The Akshara Purusha is Satya. The Akshara Purusha is Satya Chita. The Akshara Purusha is Ananda. So Satya Chita Ananda, that is there inside all the time. It never, there is no sleep for that. But this Jiva, you see, who has identified himself with the body, mind, intellect, that Jiva, the Charapurusha, which has identified itself with the body, mind, intellect, goes into that sleep state and becomes one with that Akshara Purusha. So it touches that. So it touches the happiness there, it touches the existence aspect there, it touches the chit aspect there. These are the three things which it brings back when the body wakes up. And when the body wakes up, immediately the Jiva associates itself with the body, mind, intellect. And therefore, the experience of the Jiva, the real Charapurusha, the experience of the Jiva is appropriated by the mind as if it were its own experience. When you talk of an experience of which you did not have the experience, but it is only somebody's experience. It was not the body, mind, intellect's experience, it was not the mind's experience, it was the Jiva's experience, that merging. So that is appropriated by the mind, and this is called pratyabhijna in technical words, pratyabhijna. What is the authority for all these things? You are saying so many things. What is the authority? Yes, there are so many authorities in the literature. You can go to the Mandukya Upanishad, you can go to various other Upanishads. But a single sentence I can tell you, in Mahanarayana Upanishad, there is a whole passage which you are supposed to repeat every day when you have your bath. See, Hiranyashingam Marunam Prapatyeti Tirtham Melege. So that passage talks about all the papas that you might have done, and then it prays for the eradication of those sins, etc., for the purification of the mind, purification of the soul, it says. And finally it says, Ahameva aham manjuho me swaha. Aham eva aham man juhomi. Aham eva aham mam juhomi. Aham eva, myself. Aham, I, myself. Myself only, right? Mam juhomi, I am sacrificing myself. In this, mom, I am sacrificing me. Mom, me. So I am sacrificing me into myself. What it says, aham evaham manjuho meswaha, which means the Charapurusha, the Jiva, which has identified itself with body, mind, intellect, goes there and sacrifices itself. It sacrifices, it merges into the fire of that reality, so that this thing disappears. The false I goes into the true I, the real I. The false I disappears, only the true I remains. But unfortunately, we wake up and the true I transfers its ideas to the false I, and the false I says, I slept happily. You see? Kutastha is unaffected. The Kutastha, who is the Akshara Purusha inside, he is unaffected by all the vikaras created by your differences. What are the differences? Jati, Kriya, Guna, Sambandha. These are the four kinds of differences. Jati, Kriya, Guna, Sambandha. Jati means I am so and so, I am this, I am that, I am male, I am female, whatever. I am a person, I am a man. All this is species. So differences in species, Kutastha does not recognize. It is always the same. Kriya, by your actions, I am an actor, I am a professor, I am a doctor, Kriya, I am doing this, I am doing that. This is Kriya, differences created by Kriya. Guna, I am deaf, I am dumb, I am fair, I am beautiful, I am not beautiful. All these things are guna. So, guna also gives you various differences. Sambandha, relationship. I am related to somebody, I have a wife, I have a son, I have a daughter, etc. All those things. That is sambandha, relationship. So, jati, kriya, guna, sambandha. These four relationships are not recognized by the kutastha. In fact, kutastha is the adhisthana. Adhisthana means support, base, fulcrum for everything. So it is the background for everything. Adhisthana is a complicated Sanskrit word, but actually it means adhika sthana. Adhika sthana means extra importance. You have to give it an extra status. Because he is always there, he is firm, he is unchanged, he is untransformed by anything, nirvikara. So he is the adhisthana. Always the adhisthana has a greater reality than the superposed thing. The superposed thing is unreal, the adhisthana is real. When you look at the clay and the pot, the clay is more real than the pot. Pot has a name and form, but the name and form, when it disappears, it becomes a simple clay. Where the clay comes from, there is something more real than that, that is a different story. The whole idea is, whatever comes from something else, whatever goes back into something else, that is unreal. The thing that into which it goes back, that is more real. When you take a plastic bucket, the plastic is more real than the bucket that you see. So like that. So kutastha is the ultimate reality that is within us. Tvam mukta parishuddha vibuddha atma kutastha adi purusho bhagavansya dishaham yad buddhyavastiti makanditaya swadrishtya drashtasthita vadimako vyatirikta ase. So this shloka, as I told you, is equivalent to the Gayatri, and it can be repeated by anybody instead of, in the position of, right, Gayatri, and it will give you that kind of power. And as I told you, this shloka tells you of the Swarupa Lakshana of the Lord. 3 times each line tells you that. So with that, we close this session today, and we will take up 11 and 12 in the next session. Lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu.